The post-E3 analysis continues, this time with Ace Combat 7. It's been a long time since the last numbered sequel, and after spending a solid 30 minutes with this new game, both in and out of VR, it's shaping up to be something quite special. Beyond that, I also had an opportunity to sit down and discuss the game with Kazutoki Kono, the producer of Ace Combat 7, who has been with the series since Ace Combat 2. So let's get started. To begin with, Ace Combat has been dormant for quite some time now, but back in 2011, Namco released Assault Horizon, which kinda turned the whole franchise on its head with a more cinematic approach to the series. While not bad per se, this is not what Ace Combat 7 is all about. This is a return to the classic games, and Ace Combat 4 and 5 in particular. Kono-san explained that nailing the feeling of flight was one of the most important aspects of the project, and once that was achieved, focus was then turned to the map design itself and how modern technology could be leveraged to create more interesting missions. The technology plays a significant role here for sure. Like many other recent Bandai Namco titles, Ace Combat 7 runs on Unreal Engine 4. Kono-san is responsible for multiple divisions within Bandai Namco, including the Tekken, Idolmaster, and Pokken teams. As we've seen recently, Tekken 7 turned out rather well on Unreal Engine 4, and early in development, things were going very well for this team. We were told that the internal Ace Combat engine was in sort of a limbo state when the AC7 project was greenlit, and when asked about pursuing development using Unreal based on the results the Tekken team was seeing, the Ace Combat team was excited by the prospect. Which brings to the table massive upgrades in lighting, materials, and cloud systems, among other things. Ace Combat 7 of course brings full volumetric clouds to the series in a big way, giving the skies a newfound sense of depth and realism as you dart in and out of the clouds. The sensation of getting lost in the sky while chasing an enemy using only your heads-up display is quite invigorating indeed. Water droplets realistically form across the windscreen as you dart through the clouds, which you can see if you take a look at the glass surrounding the cockpit. The subtle use of vibrations to convey motion also helps bring a sense of speed to the series that was previously lacking. Condensation also realistically forms across the wings as you change elevation, a phenomenon that was previously simulated in Ace Combat 6 but greatly enhanced with this latest installment. Ace Combat 7 also features excellent use of color grading, giving the game a hyper-realistic look that fits the style nicely. The low-hanging clouds and stormy atmosphere combined with sunlight peeking through creates an appealing playfield that is quite a joy to behold. The terrain itself also sees improvements, with specular highlights playing realistically off the water surface textures, while rolling terrain is packed with hundreds of trees. Terrain rendering is dramatically improved in comparison to the older titles, and when combined with the cloud simulation, helps create a much richer environment to explore and do battle in. The metallic materials used on planes are also quite realistic now, while the thick missile trails observed when attacking your foes are simply beautiful to behold. All of this is topped off with an excellent motion blur implementation that is par for the course with Unreal Engine 4 but works really well in the case of Ace Combat 7. Taken as a whole, even in this early state, Ace Combat 7 is a gorgeous game, and it's going to ship on PS4, Xbox One, and the PC. Impressively, I also had a chance to sample the game in virtual reality, though I wasn't able to capture any footage from that mode. Needless to say, the visuals are downgraded with a huge reduction in volumetric cloud resolution and a lower overall resolution, but the effect is still strong. Being able to track targets from within the cockpit with your head feels fantastic. We did ask Kono-san about future support of the Oculus Rift and HTC Vive in the PC version of AC7, and unfortunately, it seems to be a PSVR exclusive for now. Of course, all of the footage shown thus far was captured on a standard PlayStation 4, and if you couldn't tell, the frame rate is not always buttery smooth. Ace Combat 7 is still very much in development, but in its current state, it operates with a completely uncapped frame rate. Now, thanks to the excellent motion blur implementation along with the use of triple buffering, it does at least manage to feel less jarring than certain other games with an uncapped frame rate, but it's still not optimal. Compared to the rock-solid 60 frames per second experience on PlayStation 2, this comes as a bit of a disappointment, so we asked Kono-san about it. In his mind, frame rate is a tricky target that has a greater importance in different genres. For Tekken 7, 60 frames per second was a requirement, and anything less than that was unacceptable. But with Ace Combat, additional leeway is allowed since he feels the benefit of enhanced visuals outweighs the need for a consistent 60 frames per second here. He also pointed to the VR version as an example of what it would take to reach higher frame rates on the standard PS4 and what kind of downgrades you would see. So how about the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X? Well, for one thing, he only learned about the Xbox One X on the plane to Los Angeles prior to E3, so there is nothing to say yet on that new machine, aside from we would like to support it. He did note that lots of users have expressed interest in higher frame rates when playing the game on the PS4 Pro or now the Xbox One X, and the team has been researching and working towards higher levels of performance on these enhanced consoles rather than just focusing on an increased resolution. His phrasing certainly makes it seem like these enhanced machines will deliver improved performance, if their tests are successful of course. Even still, it's entirely likely that the base PS4 and Xbox One versions will see an improvement over the current build by the time the game is released, as it's still quite a ways off. On PC though, of course, this won't be an issue at all. For reference, Ace Combat 6 on Xbox 360 was a 30 frames per second game, while AC 4, 5, and 0 on PlayStation 2 were, as mentioned earlier, 60 frames per second games. So what else is there to discuss then? Well, I had to ask Kono-san about the soundtrack, in particular the songs created for the final missions in the PS2 installments. You know, if you haven't played it, think about this. The last mission of Ace Combat 5, the tension is building, the final battle is nigh, and then this music rises up in the background. It's an incredible moment. These epic tracks resulted in some of the most memorable flight sequences I've had in gaming, and Kono-san told us that that is the objective with Ace Combat 7. Keiki Kobayashi is on board and working on the theme for Ace Combat 7 this time, and he's being pushed to shoot for the stars. At the very least, it sounds like the right people are composing for AC7, and personally, I can't wait to hear the results. Then there is the storytelling. This is another element that has changed dramatically with each new installment, and for AC7 it seems that the team is aiming for sort of a combination of 3D modeled directed sequences and 2D sequences similar to AC4. Without seeing it for myself though, there isn't really a lot to say right now, but it's nice to see that the story once again plays a significant role in the game. Ultimately though, that's about all we have on the game right now. As a fan of the series, it's fantastic to see Ace Combat return to its former glory. While the performance still leaves something to be desired, everything else is shaping up to be a true return to form. The feel of the game and the style of the visuals are spot on. After the successful resurrection of Tekken, it's great to see classic Namco franchises reborn in the modern era. But that's all for now though. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give us a like, subscribe, and follow us over on Twitter, and we'll be sure to look at Ace Combat 7 when it ships in 2018. But until next time, this is John signing off.